Well, this is sad for the Wobbuffet, you know?
Yeah.
As Curtis is pointing out, I never thought of it that way, but he is going through a tough time.
Yeah, I swear, I'll go on the record saying you can hear it in his wobs. You can hear it in his wobs.
That's a fantastic line. Wobbuffeta cheese. Get your Wobbuffeta cheese. That's right, we milk Wobbuffets here at the Wobbuffet Ranch to make the Wobbuffeta cheese. Step right up, who wants a taste? It's episode 73 of Kill A Delibird, the very weird, very wacky, very surreal Pokemon Rewatch podcast where we rewatch the anime, try to compare it to literature, and just have a whole lot of fun along the way. I am Graham, the one who doesn't know that much about Pokemon, and so I am joined by my co-host Kellan, who does know things about Pokemon. Kellan, how you doing?
I'm so tired and sore.
Can't
It's not
you-
a great day.
Folks, shout me out in the comments if you want him to just fake enthusiasm. I'm always like, Kellan, you gotta sell it. You gotta live it. You know, no one
I
wants to hear you
hurt.
tired. Do you want to hear Kellan tired? Shout us out in the comments if you like tired Kellan.
I hurt. I went for a walk. I've been taking walks regularly, playing some Pokemon Go, getting me out of the house. Apparently yesterday I wasn't paying enough attention, and I tripped on a piece of broken road and took a fall, and I hurt, and I am sore.
Damn. Well, now I feel bad. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, okay.
My neck hurts, and my back is a little and
Well-
my knee is scraped. But I'll survive, I'm sure.
That's fascinating, Kellan. But we
Yeah.
are joined this week by, I guess,
There's
it's
more
been a
interesting
long
things,
time since we've had a guest. This
7 or 8
is
months.
Curtis, friend of the show, who joined us on the Mr. Mime episode last year and is back after a long time because he's a Wobbuffet enthusiast, is what the story I heard. Curtis, how you doing?
Wobbuffet! I'm doing good. Happy to be on the show. That one might have peaked. I gotta be honest. I thought I had the audio levels right, but that one probably peaked.
Hey, the
Probably.
odd peak is okay. It adds texture.
I got a little crunch in
So
there.
just hopefully nobody was breastfeeding during that, and the baby's latched
Chomped
on
down.
a little tight. Yeah.
Ugh.
Shout us out in the comments if you breastfeed while listening to the podcast.
That would be weird, but okay. Sure.
Really? It's like the regular routine.
Well, like telling us about it might be a little weird.
Oh, well, don't feel obligated. Optional.
But also it boosts our interaction, so
Yeah, this isn't a gunpoint breastfeeding
do
poll.
it. Yeah.
I want to know some things. We're going to talk about Wobbuffet a bunch today. Curtis, what is your fascination with Wobbuffet? Do you want to walk us through that? Like, why are you drawn of him? You got any memories, that sort of thing?
Oh, I'll gladly. So Wobbuffet is one of those Pokemon where he was always grouped in at the bottom of just absolute useless. And like the episode does a great job of, portraying that image of
Mhm.
Wobbuffet. And so for me, I've always just loved his demeanor. I love that you look at him, you know he's got some sophistication behind him or her. And growing up, I just loved using Pokemon that everybody said were useless. So I got great joy out of max leveling a Wobbuffet growing up. And anytime a
that's
friend,
awesome.
anytime a friend was like, yeah, I've got the strongest Pokemon. I got like a Mewtwo or I got this. I'd be like, all right, 1v1. Let's see it. Bring out the Wobbuffet, and then I would just predict what move they were going to use, and I would just survive the hit and one-shot their favorite Pokemon
Yep.
and be like, that's Wobby.
Yeah, that's the thing about Wobbuffet. Like, it's not useless. It's just hard to use. But if you use it right,
Oh.
it is a absolute monster.
He is simplicity at its finest when it comes to Pokemon, which I love. And in the show, I just love his whole character. I love his persona. He's so freaking happy to be a part of everything. And like, what can you not love about Wobbuffet?
That is
Exactly.
That is pretty sick story because I also like characters that that's what they call the American dream, right? When the character everyone thinks it's useless, but it actually has some really cool techniques. I think that's cool, like when Super Smash Brothers Melee players turned Jigglypuff around, and now she's like top tier. But I remember back in the day, everyone thought Jigglypuff sucked. You know?
Yeah, that's the main reason. And then I also love it because Wobbuffet has like a little conspiracy behind Wobbuffet as well.
Oh, yeah.
Some added mystery because, when you look at Wobbuffet, we all think that the big blue blob is Wobbuffet, but there's a whole conspiracy and community that believes that Wobbuffet is actually the tail, the little black thing, and the blue part is all just a
Oh.
decoy. So yeah, Wobbuffet's got a rich lore.
Is the rest of it then it's just nothing. It's like a tumor, or
Yeah,
what is
it's
it?
like a big blue blob that it
just a
just
vessel.
invites people to punch to beat the crap out of it. When meanwhile, actually, Wobbuffet's just hanging out, sniffing
Oh, and
grass.
this other appendage doesn't feel pain. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah.
In the
Mhm.
Pokedex, there is a little bit of corroboration there because I think as early as Diamond and Pearl, from what I'm seeing, it says it desperately tries to keep its black tail hidden, which that's something we heard in the Dex in the show today. And then it says it is said to be proof the tail hides a secret.
Oh.
Oh, see,
And
see.
it does clearly have eyeballs on the tail.
Mm-hmm. There's something about it.
Huh.
Something going on.
That is
And when
weird.
there's just that much stuff around one Pokemon, like how can you look at it and honestly say it's not one of your favorites? Just
agree.
saying.
I mean, it is so bizarrely fascinating. Yeah.
Wobbuffet is a freaky little fucker, and everyone loves it. I don't know how anyone doesn't love Wobbuffet. It's also terrifying to encounter in a Nuzlocke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's its ability prevents you from being able to switch out, and if you don't
Oh.
face it right, it will kill you
Is it
in one
is
hit.
it a run ender?
To an extent. Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's mainly dangerous in randomizers because like if you're playing a regular Pokemon game, you may know that it's coming, but
Yeah, or
not many people have
Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet in the games. But in a randomizer, they can show up at any time and they can kill you immediately,
Cool.
and that's why we love it.
Well, boys, are you ready for a special event before we get into the episodes?
So ready.
Ooh, I love
Okay.
this.
Okay, well, I heard ahead of time, courtesy your big Wobbuffet, a fan, and Kellan just, is full of random knowledge and plays way too much Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I put together, and this is put together by someone who does not know what he's talking about, but I did my best. I put together a little Wobbuffet quiz.
Oh
Okay.
no.
And I'm going to pit you two against each other in this
Uh-oh.
Wobbuffet quiz.
Okay.
Who knows more very random, out of the way facts about Wobbuffet? You cannot use Bulbapedia during this because I got all of this from Bulbapedia.
I closed
So-
the window. Don't worry.
Okay. How this will work is I have 3 questions for each of you, okay? An easy one, an intermediate one, and a hard one. They are all stupid, so don't take this seriously at all, okay? I'll give you a question. If you get it right, that's a point. If you don't get it, the other person has a chance to steal. If nobody gets it right, no points for that question. Got it? Simple.
Okay.
All right, I got it. This
Hit
is
it.
awesome.
Now, between you two, who would like to go first?
I'll let Curtis go first, the
Ooh.
guest.
Okay. Curtis, here is your easy category question. What is the main physical difference between the male and female Wobbuffet?
The female Wobbuffets have beautiful lipstick on their lips.
Bingo! He got it. Let's give a round of applause, folks.
One of the best gender differences that there is.
Absolutely beautiful.
Because it's like cartoonish,
So silly.
right? It's
Yeah.
like over the
It's
top.
so dumb.
Okay, Kellan, you want your easy question?
If I must.
The baby form of Wobbuffet is Why Not? What generation was Why Not
3.
introduced? Yes, Gen 3. Good job, Kellan. I didn't
Buy an
know
egg.
that.
You get it in Lava Ridge Town.
Okay. Nobody likes
At
to
the
know
hot
it all.
He might know more facts about Wobbuffet than me, but I'm spiritually attached to Wobbuffet more.
Right, this
Yeah.
might be like an Ash versus Brock situation, like heart versus head, you know? All right, so it's 1-1, tied. We're going to the intermediate questions. Curtis, true or false? Wobbuffet appears in the background of the Pokemon Stadium level in Super Smash Bros. Melee.
I'm going with true.
Ah, it's false.
Dang
Wobbuffet
it.
actually appears in Poke Floats.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's
They
It
got
also
me.
comes out of Pokeballs, I think, doesn't it?
Yes. But I
Yeah.
realize now I didn't give you a chance to steal, Kellan, so that is not something
Ah.
we're doing anymore. There's no stealing. Moving on. But you would have gotten it wrong. No, you would have gotten it right. Okay. I don't know.
I may have gotten it technically correct.
Yeah, you might have gotten technically correct. Okay, well, let's just keep going. Let's give you yours. Maybe the points don't matter. Maybe it's about the friends we made along the way. Kellan, question number 2. Intermediate question 2 for you. In Generation 2, Wobbuffet learns 4 moves, one of which is counter. Name any of the other 4.
Mirror Coat, Safeguard, Destiny Bond.
He knew all three. What the fuck? I want to kill myself.
That's the point of Wobbuffet.
Oh my god, okay. You knew all four. Wow. And I thought that was too hard, maybe. Wow. Okay. It's okay. You still got this. You still got
I
this.
got redemption time here.
Curtis. This one is very stupid, though, so we'll see.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to read you a Wobbuffet Dex entry, and you need to tell me which game it's from. Okay?
Ooh, interesting. All right.
That's tricky.
All right, this is hard. Okay, this is the entry. If two or more Wobbuffet meet, they will turn competitive and try to outdo the other's endurance. However, they may try to see which one can endure the longest without food. Trainers need to beware of this habit.
First off, mad respect for the Wobbuffets. They know how to throw down a real challenge.
I know that's a pretty base Dex entry.
Okay, I'm going to go with, I feel like that's going to be Generation 5.
Oh, it is 3. It is specifically
Close.
Ruby, and then they brought it back in Omega Ruby. Good guess, though. I mean, you had a guess, right? Like, it was a stupid question.
Yeah,
I love
I
that.
wouldn't have gotten
I got
that.
a stupid one for you. Unless you know this, in which case I will execute myself live on the podcast. Okay? All right, Kellan. Wobbuffet's Japanese name is Sonans, from the phrase Sonatsu. What does Sonatsu mean in English?
No, fuck off.
Yeah,
I don't know
we
Japanese. That has nothing to do with Wobbuffet.
It sure does.
Why
It means to stand there and do nothing.
Well, in some sense, but no, it means that's the way it is. And why not is apparently a question, like, what's the way it is? So the idea is that Wobbuffet and Why Not's names are having like a circular conversation. That's what it
That's
learns.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's wonderful.
Well, okay, I guess you technically won, Kellan, but really all of us lost. Because that's the point of this podcast.
We're all losers.
Just a bunch of losers hanging out, am I right?
We're talking Pokemon on the internet. I think we all lost.
And we love it.
All right, we never even talked about what episodes we're doing today. We're looking at
let's hear it.
episode 147, A Farfetch'd Tale, followed by episode 148, Tricks of the Trade. So I guess we'll just jump into A Farfetch'd Tale, shall we?
Let's
Yes,
go.
please.
Not the first time Farfetch'd has been used in a pun name in the official episode.
Okay, what was the other one called?
We had So Near Yet So Farfetch'd.
There you go.
When we last left the gang, Ash just won his second Johto gym badge, the Hive badge. And so now we're in a forest. This is the Ilex Forest, which is the location that comes after Azalea Town in the game. So well done, show.
I was going to
Love
ask
that.
you about that. So that is
Dang.
that mysterious forest that does have like a shrine in it, right?
Yep.
And
that was supposed to be the GS ball thing.
and is
for
there a
Celadine.
Farfetch'd in the game that runs around, or am I remembering a different game?
No, you're remembering correctly. This is very much based on the events in the forest in the game.
Okay, awesome. I'm loving some of these like actual game adaptation moments that they're very
Yeah,
fun.
the whole Azalea Town arc to here has been very, very,
very strong.
faithful to the games. Yeah, which is not something we see that often. So
We respect that.
we do.
Yeah,
very
no,
much so.
it's great. I mean, that's like when video game movies, like although they very rarely are good, when they are good, it's because they like, were actually made by fans, right?
Mhm. They're
Mhm.
faithful to the source material. They're actually like they bring the things that people actually like about the games.
Yeah.
What a concept. That's crazy. So they're lost, of course, or they will get lost if they get off course. They just got to follow the map. And Misty's like, "But Brock, you always say that, and we always get lost." And then he goes into some like detective outfit, and he's like, "I'm just looking out for you, kids."
He's doing like a Dick Tracy impersonation.
Very weird. Team Rocket are starving though. Go to them. They're very hungry. They see the gang. They're like, "Oh, we'll steal their food. Let's do that. That's great." And then we go back to the gang.
Yeah, and
Not
that's
much
kind
for
of
them.
Team Rocket's starting issue here, right? Is that they're really hungry. They're hungrier than
Mhm.
usual, I guess.
And so back to the gang, they come up on some kid telling Farfetch'd to use a cutting attack, and they pull a me where they go, actually, it's called cut attack, which is a very ironic thing for them to point out, considering how often
How
they
often
get
they
move
fuck
names
up
wrong.
move names.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did they call Swift the other day? It was so sick.
Speed Star.
Oh, that's so sick. That's way
Last week
better.
we had sweet smell instead of sweet scent.
Ooh.
Check out my sweet smell. Just farts.
There's a lot of electric shock.
That's right.
Kellan wrote this episode specifically. That's
Yeah.
why. Kellan was in the writer's room and literally, like, after ripping the rest of the writers apart for messing them up in their episodes, was like, we need to dedicate an entire moment in this show to teach them a lesson.
It's really
what's
impressive
even-
considering I would have been 1 at the time.
Prodigy.
I was making the exact same joke, Kellan. We are too connected.
I was just really, really on top of Pokemon.
Well, you're
right out of the womb.
You're actually the person that the movie Boss Baby inspired.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they tell the kid, it's called cut, you idiot. Fucking dumbass. And so he tries making Farfetch'd do cut, but Farfetch'd just isn't listening to him in the first place.
Nope.
Back to Team Rocket. They're too weak and hungry to even think about looking for the kids. The purse is empty as
no money.
stomach. No money. And then back to the gang again. A lot of
Lots
back
of
and
cuts.
forth.
That's because cut attack. Lots of cuts. Wow.
Oh my god,
So deep.
that's crazy. This kid is Sylvester, and he's like, I just got this far-fetched, I can't remember the names of the moves. And Missy's like, that's understandable. And I'm like, wow, you're an idiot.
Well, hold on. His excuse, though, which is good, is that Pokemon isn't his true passion. His true passion is purifying charcoal. And that kind of caught me off guard because I was like, what did they say in my Pokemon episode? Like, I thought his true passion was going to be like marbles or something. Like,
Yeah, he's like, I want to make the best purifying charcoal in the world. To which Brock is like, oh, purifying charcoal? I love purifying charcoal. Almost as much as I love jelly donuts.
right? And then we get his best, like, Bill Nye the Science Guy impersonation where he, like, walks us through what this is used for, where it comes from, right? So it's like the wood from this Ilex Forest makes the best charcoal, and it's all part of Brock's Rockin' Rice recipe.
Should have been calling it Brock and Rice, am I right?
Yes.
Ba-dum.
Oh, I guess Kellan
Thank you,
didn't
thank
write
you.
this. Either that or you were really rusty back then.
Yeah. 1-year-old me, he needed a nap when he wrote this one.
Although, has anybody ever actually done the Rockin' Rice, like Brock's Rockin' Rice recipe? Because that would be fun to cook.
I mean, it's just rice.
I,
Like, that's it. That's all it was. It was rice and water on charcoal. That was it.
but
Well,
we need to
hold
cook it
on.
on charcoal, so I'm gonna have to like make some.
How does the charcoal change anything? That's what
The
I
heat
want to know.
distribution. And also remember, you need specifically Pewter City rice, and then you need 3 cups of Mount Moon spring water. He's using a 3-to-1 water to rice ratio, though, which is like kind of ridiculous, isn't it? That seems really
Yeah.
high.
I don't remember what I do. I think it's
I do a
what do I do?
1.25.
Yeah, something
to
like
1.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way too much water, Brock. It's not going to cook out.
He's making rice soup.
Oh, kanji. He's making kanji.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Sure. Anyway, yeah, Brock has a rice. It's weird. He sources everything from the far corners of the world. And so Sylvester's trying to teach Farfetch'd to cut the wood into even blocks so that they can make the charcoal. And Ash gives a whole speech about like, oh, you could be a good trainer. You're only a loser if you're a quitter. Because Sylvester, this whole episode, is just like, I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. He just never stops being really
Like,
down
down on
and
himself.
annoying.
My
Yeah.
duck doesn't respect me. Wah, wah.
Oh, speaking of ducks, after I fell yesterday on my walk, later
Okay.
I got really close to a couple ducks that were eating off the street. It was lovely. I loved that.
Oh, they didn't attack you or anything.
No, they were just chilling.
Or
I got like
they didn't
2
disrespect
feet from them.
you.
I loved
That's
it.
pretty far fetched.
Ah, get out of here.
Kellan, did you yell at them? Use cutting attack.
Yeah.
If I had watched these episodes first, maybe I would have. But I
Valid.
forgot we were doing Farfetch'd this week. Anyway, yeah, I love ducks. So we go to a log cabin center. Nice place. Ash calls Oak, who is dying to learn about the GS ball, and he
As
never
are we
will.
all.
He never will.
Curtis, I don't know if you remember this, but I am just infuriated with this plot line about the GS ball. Do you remember that?
I honestly do not remember a thing about the GS ball.
Nobody does. Okay. So it would have been weirder if you did, honestly. But so they've used it as the main MacGuffin for first going to Orange Islands and then going to Johto. They're like, we have this magical GS ball. We don't know what it is. So they got to take it to Kurt in Azalea Town. They get it to Kurt. Kurt goes, I don't know what it is. And then we never see it ever again. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. They probably were just like, we need something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
get 'em.
Celebi. They were supposed to be a Celebi arc with the GS ball, but they added
Oh.
Celebi to the 4th movie and scrapped that storyline and just hoped people would forget about it.
We don't forget.
We never forget on
I
this
think
podcast.
most people did forget, but then years
Probably.
later, Kellan and Graham did a podcast.
So, yeah, he's talking to Oak. We get a nice cameo from all his Pokemon at the lab. I like that. I just like seeing all of his other Pokemon.
Yeah,
Um,
that was beautiful.
Except it's only one Tauros and not all 30 of them, which that would have been much funnier. But
I think there's kind of like one better one at this point. No,
the one he used for the orange.
Yeah,
league,
exactly.
Probably. So the map, they're talking about where they need to go next. The map says we're going to go to Goldenrod, and that's the next big destination. But Sylvester comes running in. His Farfetch'd has gone missing. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Sylvester, kind of his fault. He messed up commands. Farfetch ran away, I guess. I don't know. But Joy's filling us in. This has happened before. Farfetch usually runs home. Sylvester beats himself up even more. He didn't even think to check it home.
I
And,
can't believe how stupid
we learned
I
that his
am.
dad's going to be mad. So this is a bit of a thing.
Yeah, so Ash offers their assistants to go with him, tell his dad, and then go find Farfetch'd if he's not there. So they go to the house. Magmar is burning away some charcoal while the dad is... He's just there. He's just sitting there.
Yeah,
watching.
he's a tough old dude.
But he's got a soft side, I think.
We'll see it, yeah.
Yeah. Sylvester asks if he's seen Farfetch'd. Dad gets really angry. He's like, "You can't do anything right." Really great way to support your child, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ash steps in to defend Sylvester. He's like, he's trying his best. And the dad's like, no, he really isn't. Because in order to be a good trainer, you can't just tell the Pokemon what to do. You gotta work together as a team. You gotta be one with your Pokemon. It's like, oh, maybe Dad knows what he's talking about.
Dad ain't full of shit.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's got a good point.
So they're gonna go find Farfetch'd. Team Rocket, meanwhile, still hungry. Meowth thinks he smells some food with his nose. He makes sure to point out he smells it with his nose, even though I think twice in the past episodes he's made jokes about not having a nose.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's spicy.
He's like, I can't smell. Why can't I smell anything? Oh, wait, I don't have a nose. But now he can smell butter rolls from a mile away.
Now, were these butter rolls?
No, they were dumplings originally.
Yeah, okay. That's what they look like.
But I'll buy it. It works for me.
Yeah.
But also, why are these 2 butter rolls just sitting there?
I think they were, what's the word?
Offering?
An offering, thank you, to say, like, the local shrine. So probably...
To Celebi.
I'd like to think these are actually Sylvester's in the morning, that he, like, dropped those off, you know?
Or did he set his lunch down and forget to
Or
go back to
that. Maybe that's his lunch. Poor kid.
Then he's gonna start beating himself up. Where did I put my
I'm
lunch?
so hungry.
Oh,
Oh, I lost my lunch. I'm such a dummy.
why?
You guys got no sympathy for Sylvester.
It's a little crybaby. So they chase the scent. They find these butter rolls, but they don't have any butter on them. But Jesse and Meowth take them, leaving James still totally starving. When Farfetch'd walks by, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a Farfetch'd. These things are valuable. Let's catch it. We'll auction it off, and then we'll buy a really big dinner."
Yeah, and this was full of just a ton of puns around the words far and fetch, and none of them were good. So write them down.
I was kind of expecting them to go the route of, "Oh my god, we're starving. Let's catch this Farfetch'd and eat it."
Yeah, they constantly circle around that idea, right? Because they do tell us that Farfetch'd have been eaten before, but yet nobody eats them in the show. So
And like Team Rocket's usually always up for chowing down on Pokemon for some reason.
Yeah, I think the main reason they don't put it in the show is because they realized, oh, this is a children's show. Maybe we shouldn't talk about eating what are essentially pets in this universe.
yeah, I mean that's definitely why. But it's the kind of thing that would be in like, okay, if the manga had come first, which I don't think it did. I think show came first and they made a manga out of it. But oftentimes you'll like go back to the manga for like a kid's anime and it's like super dark, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, it's ruthless half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through the first 3 collector's editions of the Pokemon Adventures manga, because I just haven't found the 4th one yet. And yeah, it's a little darker than the show.
Yeah.
Like multiple times Arbok has been chopped in half.
Holy fuck.
But he regrows. Like he regenerates
Oh,
his
okay.
tail.
Okay.
So it's
God.
not that dark. But yeah, but they show like Arbok in pieces, which is kind of wild.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
feel like Arbok loves it. Secretly is just like, yep.
Just really into it, yeah. Just very kinky.
I really hate the fact that they quit letting me get chopped in half. He's definitely said that before.
Oh, that was his thing.
Yeah.
He really got off on it. It'd
be like taking away Team Rocket's blasting off again, like you just don't do that, and they did it to Arbok.
Censorship strikes again.
I could see Arbok trying to go to like magician shows all the time, volunteer to be sawed in half in the box.
Just really trying to get his kicks in.
Getting chased out. This is the
I
third time
need
this
to
week.
be sawed in half, please. Or maybe he does it because his tail's getting old. He just really wants a new tail. It's not sexual.
Ooh.
Maybe there.
Sometimes I do that, like when my leg acts up.
Chop it off.
Your leg regenerates? That's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So the gang's walking along with Sylvester, looking for Farfetch'd. They come across the shrine where Sylvester left his lunch. He notes that this is where this was like the last place he saw Farfetch'd. So I think my lunch theory holds up.
Yeah, could be.
Ash says, for a Pokemon problem, we need a Pokemon solution. And so he sends out everybody. And so do Brock and Misty. Except Misty's like, come on out, everybody. And she only sends out half of her Pokemon. Staryu and Goldeen are nowhere to be seen. Which Goldeen I get. It kind of needs water. But Staryu is capable on land.
I didn't actually catch that.
Yeah, it's just
I figured
Poliwag
you'd
and
point
Psyduck.
something out. Yeah. Pineco blows up.
Almost. He
Almost
almost blows up. Brock calls him back before he blows everybody up.
Also, I really loved that Heracross was in the unit. I'm glad that he's been acquired already, the tree sucking wonder that he is.
Well, not for much longer.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, we do like Heracross.
Yeah. All the Pokemon are being kind of silly little jokester things. Chikorita's rubbing up on Ash. Squirtle and Bulbasaur are fighting about something. Cyndaquil's asleep. Heracross is eating tree sap. Psyduck is asleep on Poliwag's tail. All of Brock's Pokemon are behaving properly. Except Pineco.
Yeah, he's a little more serious.
They get their act together. Everyone goes out searching. And then we go to Team Rocket, who are still trying to catch the Farfetch'd. They're stumbling around trying to do this. He gets up in a tree, cuts some branches to fall on them.
That it looked like Farfetch'd is like throwing broccoli at them.
Yeah, it did a little bit. Finally, Meowth realizes, hey, this is a Pokemon. Let's fight it with a Pokemon. And so Jesse whips Meowth at him. Just shocks him.
Just throws him.
Who then gets promptly hit by the leak, falling to the ground. And then Arbok and Lickitung come out. Poison Sting. Farfetch'd blocks it with a leak spin. Arbok launches, dodge. Lickitung snags the leak with his tongue. Almost eats it. Jesse's like, no, we need the full set. It's not valuable without its leak.
Yeah, apparently. And so does that mean this is a unique leak to the Farfetch'd?
Unique leak?
Yeah. See that?
I guess so. I don't know if there's ever been lore as to where the hell these things come from. Because, I mean, they hatch out of the egg with them.
Yeah, they right? They come out of the egg with the leak?
Yeah.
That's fucking
It's almost
wild.
as crazy as how Kangaskhan comes out of the egg with a baby in its pouch.
That's crazier, but this is also
That's
crazy.
fucking weird.
I love that. I also love how, like, during this whole sequence, like, Farfetch'd is legit, like, a straight-up troll.
Oh, yeah.
Until his leak's taken away. Like, until his leak's taken away, he's literally getting enjoyment out of what he's putting Team Rocket through.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
I love Farfetch'd's personality in
Yes.
this episode.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that Farfetch'd itself is not good, as I've brought up many times.
R.I.P.
Tis a shame. They lasso him now, because
Yeah.
Jesse grabs the leak. So Meowth hits with the lasso, so they've got Farfetch'd now in a net. And James is so hungry that he's trying to eat the leak.
To which Heracross finds them. He sees them, so he goes finds Ash. Immediate confrontation from Ash. We get the motto, which is really boring. It's the same thing up until surrender. Now we're preparing for dinner. Meowth will have a bite. And that's the only difference. It starts really boring because like Sylvester's like, you better get Farfetch'd back or I'll be in trouble. And they're like, well then you'd better prepare for trouble. Wow.
Yeah,
really
you
lame
cannot
segue.
say trouble around Team Rocket or double or anything that rhymes with that.
They've had much better segues in the
Oh, yeah.
past. Arbok and Lickitung come back out. Meowth trips the kid. They all start running. Bulbasaur and Chikorita razor leaf Farfetch'd out of the net. Lickitung tongues it to bring it back in. I was hoping they would do another gag of Lickitung tries to eat the Farfetch'd now.
Right?
But no.
It would have fit so good.
It would have been great. Wheezing Victory Bell comes out. He eats James as usual, but I like this. James commands Sludge from inside of Victory Bell. Like he stays inside Victory Bell.
He's like wearing the Victory Bell.
It's great. So Arbok poison stings. Everyone's caught in the sludge, but at the last second, as poison sting comes in, boom! Onyx emerges from underground to block it. Misty and Brock.
Doesn't Onyx seem so fucking badass sometimes in the show, but like very selectively?
Yeah. I mean, Onyx should be one of the most badass Pokemon. It's a giant fucking rock snake.
Yeah.
But it's not good.
and Onyx has been, like, if you think about how much XP Onyx should have.
Right.
You know, because Onyx has been there since, like, the OG Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he was the gym Pokemon.
Yeah, so, like, this Onyx should be able to, like, absolutely wipe the floor with most, like, random things they run into. So I like that they give him his moment every once in a while.
Well, that's what makes it realistic, because other than its physical defense, Onyx is crap. So, in the game. So, I mean, it makes sense in the show that he can't really do much.
Oh, so you're arguing that this is a game-accurate choice?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Onyx comes out, Poliwag, Misty and Brock come in, Poliwag washes the sludge away, which I was gonna note, why didn't Squirtle do that? But they did animate that Squirtle's mouth was blocked by the sludge. So, they did it well. Team Rocket goes for a team attack, Smokescreen and Razor Leaf. Squirtle goes for Hydro Pump to wash the smoke away, and Ash is like, use your Razor Leaf attacks together. And so Chikorita uses Razor Leaf, Vine Whip is used by Bulbasaur, and Flamethrower is used by Cyndaquil. Only one of them uses Razor Leaf. I don't know what he was talking about.
I did think Cyndaquil jumping in there was kind of funny. Like, one of these things is not like the other.
So Sylvester wishes Farfetch'd would listen to him like Ash's Pokemon do. And Heracross goes, tackles Team Rocket, who let go of the leak, and then the 8-bit theme comes in, and this is pretty sweet, because Sylvester launches in to get the leak, as does Jesse, and so it's like slow motion, they jump for the leak, and oh, Sylvester gets it at the last second, gives it back to Farfetch'd, and he's like, use Fury! That's not a move, it's Fury attack.
Well, we did say that Sylvester doesn't know the names of the moves.
Yeah. maybe that's a
an intentional moment.
Intentional, yeah.
Yeah. To show that it's not about the attack, but rather the bond between one and their Pokemon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The power of friendship.
I also find it ironic that, like, they always use the word attack after a move. Like, earlier, Ash was like, Squirtle, use Hydro Pump attack to get rid of Smokescreen attack. And the one move that has attack in their name, they don't say attack.
That's pedantic, but also funny. That is funny.
But I really wish they would say, use Fury attack.
Right.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Great. So Farfetch'd has the leak back, uses Fury attack. Team Rocket starts running, but Farfetch'd cuts down some trees blocking their path. Pikachu thunderbolts them. They get sent blasting off again.
Yeah, he doesn't just cut down the tree. Farfetch'd, like does this like crazy Zen kung fu thing. There's like a kung fu movie whistle in the back, and he gets like Zen, right? And like all his duck ancestors like appear to him in a dream, and then he slices the log like perfectly into cubes.
Oh yeah, that's after they go blasting off again. Because then now that Farfetch'd trusts Sylvester and respects him, he uses cut to cut the tree into even logs, and so they're finally working.
That's one sharp leak.
Yeah.
Now we can make charcoal.
Yeah, purified charcoal. Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll sell it at Home Depots everywhere. Yeah.
Let's go.
And so we go to Sunset. Oh,
God.
we love
Stella
Sunset.
loves a good sunset.
When you use charcoal in your barbecue, you know that it was made by Sylvester, Magmar, and Farfetch'd, and his dad, if he's still cooking.
If he's still alive.
And also
It has been 20 years.
There's a trade line to Ilex Forest to wherever you live, right? I'm interested in the importing and exporting of Johto.
I do believe the Ilex Forest was a part of the Silk Road.
Ah, right.
So at sunset, Dad is finally proud of his son. It took until he did something perfectly for Dad to be proud of him. He gives some charcoal to the gang as a thanks. They're off to Goldenrod City. Who wants to bet this charcoal never is seen again, even though it's huge and wouldn't fit in any of their backpacks?
Yeah, they're never going to use that.
No.
Yeah, why would you lug around like 20 pounds of charcoal?
Well, Brock probably made all of the rice that night and just used all of it up.
Made a lot of jelly donuts.
A shitload of Brock's rockin' rice. So they head off to Goldenrod City, and that's the episode.
All right, we did get a goodbye at sunset. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a quick little literary hour on this episode so we can really get into the Wobbuffet episode, because that's why we're all here, right? So the theme kind of here, we've got that tough love theme, right? Of the dad who thinks that he needs a bit of tough love to kind of work through some things, and that's a good way of raising him. I found this out. So the book I'm going to pick is The Jungle Book, not the movie, the book, The Jungle Book. That's not something you hear about that often, eh?
The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book, like the Fury
movie?
Attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jungle Book movie book. So in that, Baloo, like the bear, he raised the wolf cubs and Mowgli, and he was like a stern father that apparently like Bagheera the panther would like get mad at him because he was like being too harsh. But he would like really give them heck if they were stepping on a line and stuff. So Baloo is like the charcoal dad from this episode.
That's what I've always pictured literary hour as, like before we started this podcast. This guy's just like the big monkey in the Jungle Book.
the bear, the monkey
This
is
guy
King.
is
The
just
monkey is
like the
King
big
Louie,
bear
right?
in the Jungle Book. I haven't seen Jungle Book in forever.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've
that's
ever
fine.
actually watched it all the way.
I feel
through
like
in
it
the first
checks
place.
out. I also feel like the dad could definitely bust into one of the songs because the bear sings one.
The bare
Is
necessities.
the bear sing the bear
necessity.
Yeah.
The
A
charcoal
simple bare
necessities.
necessity.
The simple
Charcoal
charcoal
necessities.
necessities. Ain't no worries when you've got a Magmar eating your oven.
All right, shall we get ratings this episode?
Yeah, so this is the 4-part the plastic ping pong pitcher objective ranking. We're going to pull 2 categories at random from it and rank that on it. It's been so long since we've had a guest, Kellan. Does Curtis get a ranking? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so we each get a
Ooh.
score. Fun.
That would be rude of us to be like, hey, you
That
want to come on
would
the
be. I just
podcast?
couldn't remember.
You can't partake in part of it, though. Fuck you. All right, first category will be... Oh, this is good. This is very topical. It's the first time this one's been pulled. It's Cut It Out.
Okay.
Whoa.
So this is the number
Dave
of
Coulier bar.
cuts the episode has. So when we cut from scene to scene, that counts. So I do have notes around, and I'm going to tally them up. You guys can banter about the episode while I count.
Okay. Curtis, do you like ducks?
Ducks, Emmer
Ducks.
ducks. Emmer not ducks. Oh, SAR. That's a little joke people used to say, I think.
I have no idea what you're
Yeah,
talking
there were
about.
12 cuts in this episode, which
That's
actually
it?
is fairly high.
Oh, you're counting scene cuts, not like cuts between characters.
Right, I've seen cuts
Okay.
only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuts between characters would be very hard to count.
But what about the cuts that Farfetch'd uses?
Oh.
It's a
okay,
very fitting
sure.
episode for cuts because there's a lot of cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 12
I think it's
scene
more
cuts.
footing.
And at the beginning, they were cutting between Team Rocket and the gang a lot.
There was a
Um,
rapid cutting there, yeah.
Through some rapid cutting. And then, yeah,
Cutception.
Farfetch cuts a bunch. Cuts all the
So
way
do we
down.
think that's a higher amount of
I
cutting?
actually think that's higher just because it left an impression. Like,
Mm.
especially at the beginning.
Okay. So what are you thinking then? Because you're the one that counted
It
it.
was an effective use of cuts, and I do like that the far-fetched sliced things as well. I like that cuts was a theme of the episode, and you have to cut an onion often when you cook with it. So I will give this episode a 7.5 for the cut it out.
7.5. I'm gonna go even higher. I think Farfetch'd really cranks it up. I'm gonna say 9.2.
Whoa!
Curtis, what do you think? 1 to 10.
I'm going with 8.5 because there's a lot of cutting and a lot of cut.
Yeah!
Kind of right in the middle there. And so overall, 9.2, 7.5, 8.5. That is an 8.4 for Cut It Out. So we got a good starting score. Let's see if the second category is going to keep that up. It's Psyduck.
Well, we see Psyduck in this episode.
We do see
Briefly,
him.
though, right?
Yeah. So Curtis, this
He's napping.
category isn't necessarily what Psyduck does in this episode. It's how do you feel about Psyduck at this current moment? At the time you were watching the episode, how do you feel about Psyduck on a scale of 1 to 10?
Me?
Yes, all of us.
Oh, I'm a big Psyduck supporter.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm someone who got really pissed off when I realized that Psyduck in the games is not treated the same as Psyduck in the show. You know, like I feel like Misty Psyduck low-key is like a messiah.
Little
walking,
bit, yeah.
walking amongst Pokemon.
He's
and
the
nobody...
Lisan Al-Gaib of ducks.
Exactly. So anytime I see Psyduck, I'm a little biased that it just makes me genuinely much happier to watch the episode. So I'm going with like it's got to be at least a 9 for me.
Oh, so you going 9 or a little higher?
Then let's
You
go
said
9.1. I'm good.
9.
Edgy.
I'm going 10 because Curtis just made me make a Dune reference, so I'm feeling all kinds of things. I'm going 10.
I'm feeling pretty good too. He has that fun little gag where he's sleeping on Poliwag's tail, and Poliwag looks very concerned about it. So that was very fun. And then, you know, right now I'm feeling good about Psyduck because he's got some fun stuff in the next episode. So I'm not as high as you guys, but I'm gonna go with an 8, a flat 8.
All right, good scores.
Actually,
Psyduck.
I'm gonna go 8.1.
Ew.
8.2? I'm just trying to find where it gives me a decent number here. 8.2, because I didn't want to have 40 fucking decimals to deal with. I'm going to go 8.2 because that gives us a nice round 9.1 for the episode.
Wow,
Wow.
that's super high.
Or sorry, 9.1 for Psyduck and an overall 8.75 for the episode.
That's still
which is
very
still very
high.
high.
We set
That is-
world records
The
today.
highest Johto episode.
That is our second highest Johto episode so
Did
far.
we even
right
like that
behind-
episode?
It was all right.
No, but yeah.
It's right behind Ignorance is Blissey,
That
which was a very good episode. All right, that's Farfetch'd Tale. Let's move on to what we're really here for. It's Tricks of the Trade.
and this is a fun episode.
This is
Let's
a very fun
go.
episode.
Let's go.
So we're in Palmpona now.
Seaside
no-
City,
a
not in the
non-existent game.
games, right?
Yeah. It's waterfront. It's beautiful little beach
Nice
town.
place. I'd like to
Very
visit.
nice. Yeah, and they come across this kid trying to hype up a Pokemon, and this is Wobbuffet.
Wow. My fat.
All right, so let's talk about Wobbuffet. He is introduced as the patient Pokemon. Now, this doesn't mean that he has to go to the hospital often, right? It just means he
Well,
can, like, stand in place.
Well, considering that he has to get hit in order to deal damage,
Yeah,
I think-
maybe.
I think he does have to go to the hospital.
That's what
a lot.
I'm just wondering. Is this patient as in he has patience, or is this patient as in, like, what insurance
Ooh.
companies will not take him on?
I think it's both.
It's both,
It's
and it's
both.
also patience and the fact that like he's not even phased by like the 10-hour wait times that emerge.
Right?
Yeah, he's content with it. He just sits there. He's fine.
He waits to get hit and he waits to get fixed. Like he just don't care.
I'm putting that on the fan art list. Wobbuffet patiently waiting in the waiting room.
Just like the Emerge waiting room is just full of Wobbuffets. The nurses are just
Oh my God,
sighing.
yes.
They're like, oh my
That's
God,
better.
not again.
That's better. The Wobbuffet waiting room. That's what's
Yeah.
on the fan art list.
That's beautiful.
And they're all damaged and hurt. That's great.
There's like these weird CBC hit pieces like, our hospital room's unfairly taken up by Wobbuffets. We go to some concerned citizens tonight to find out. I had to wait 12 hours in Toronto for a stub and toe. All because of those Wobbuffets. They're taking our jobs.
These Wobbuffet need to realize that their decisions are harming other people too.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Wobbuffet, great Pokemon. We love him. I think I've mentioned it before, but Wobbuffet's based on one of those punching bags that can't get knocked over. And the idea is you punch it and it falls backwards, and then it counterattacks by flinging itself back up.
Yeah, very Looney Tunes, but very fun.
absolutely beautiful.
Which isn't quite how we see it in this episode, but whatever. Maybe we'll see it in the future. I'm hoping, because I think it would be very fun.
Yeah, do you know? Do they sort of do that animation? Here's
not
it is a
sure.
little bit different. It's a similar idea. It's just like they did want to place it as more of like a Pokemon attack, I guess. But
Yeah, we'll talk
get
about
there
it more when we
comes up.
get there, but it is not particularly representative of how the game works.
Hmm.
So this is Benny, who has the Wobbuffet. They all introduce themselves.
Benny and the
He's-
Wobbuffets by Elton John. Sorry. Keep
Oh man, if we named our episodes after songs, that
after
would be a great one.
songs.
Yeah.
That'd be clutch.
So he's trying to get his Wobbuffet looking good as possible for the Pokemon swap meet, where people swap around their Pokemon. Misty is like, "You're gonna try to trade that thing? You think someone's gonna trade for
I
that?"
gotta correct you, Kellan. That isn't what she said. Her exact words in the episode were, "This Pokemon ain't shit, kid."
You're right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, I love how like when he first like introduces Wobbuffet, he's pumping it up like, you stand tall, you ain't nobody gonna mess with you. And Wobbuffet's like, wow. And then as we go through the episode, I really want you to pay attention to how Wobbuffet says his whams, because it's
Does he
Does it
get
change
more
at all?
discouraged?
it does get like sometimes discouraged when like he gets like, as it's like he's like, because let's be honest, like he's with his trainer that's known him since birth and raised him, and the guy's trying to get rid of him, and like Wobbuffet, when he gets greeted by Ash the first time, hits him with like a wham, and Ash like immediately is like, huh, and just like completely blows him off. So I just love it.
What the hell is this thing?
Yeah, Wobbuffet, you can tell there's some deep psychological stuff that's going through him this episode.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I just kind of assumed it was basically the same voice clip, which would have made sense to me because Wobbuffet doesn't seem to care about anything ever.
Maybe it's the same clip, but I maybe I'm like just too in tune with Wobbuffet. I just feel Wobbuffet's pain, and I just in my head.
It's that film student coming back analyzing it too hard.
Yeah.
So they're all gonna head to the swap meet. Meanwhile, Team Rocket are washing up James's watering Victory Bell. Jessie gets all clean, and then Lickitung just licks her immediately, and they start fighting. This funny little gag. But Meowth comes running in. He heard about the swap meet. Think of all the Pokemon we can steal. And so they run off. But, Snubble's not far behind.
Just a little teaser.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't encourage, you may not know. Snubble was introduced a while ago, and is kind of becoming a recurring character that follows around Team Rocket, sniffing for Meowth, because she loves to chomp down on Meowth's tail.
I guess she's the Jigglypuff of this season? Because, like, is Jigglypuff following them also? I don't know.
Jigglypuff is still around. I don't remember when the last time we saw her was, but we saw her at the very beginning of the season.
Okay. So there's 2 Pokemon who randomly trail them.
So at the swap meet, suddenly a big stampede of Tauros come running in. It's the running of the Tauros. Anyone brave enough to touch the horns of the Tauros gets a trophy from the mayor. It's a tradition in the town. Ash, of course, wants to have a crack at this, but it is the most dangerous event, and he chickens out at the last second.
The Tauros run into the stadium, and then we cut ahead, I think, because it almost felt like then they just immediately start dueling.
Yeah, so this is like a one-on-one Tauros tournament, specifically for Tauros.
Yeah.
And so Ash is like, oh my god, I gotta get in this. So he calls Oak. He's like, you gotta send me my Tauros. Oak is like, well, you already have 6 Pokemon, so what are you gonna send me? If it's all the same to you, I want Heracross. I want to research it about something. And so he swaps out Heracross for Tauros. Bye-bye, Heracross.
Okay, he better join again. Heracross is
legitimately
sick.
cried, yeah, like, because I was like, I didn't know that he was in the show yet. I forgot, and then when I saw him in the first episode, I was like, hell yeah, I need a good Heracross sap and suck team. And then they just yeet him back to Professor Oak, and I'm like, all right, that dream's dead.
Yeah, I don't understand why they did that. Like, he just got Heracross, in the grand scheme of things, very recently.
Yeah.
And like he got Chikorita, so he has 2 grass types on his team. Why didn't Oak ask for Bulbasaur? Would have made a lot more sense.
He wants to study Heracross's sap sucker. We heard it.
He could have come up with something about wanting to study Bulbasaur or something.
Bulbasaur's bulb.
Yeah.
I hope that he comes back soon.
Yeah.
He's not like a released Pokemon. I do believe he comes back once in a while. But yeah, he's not a regular team member, which is unfortunate. Because him eating the tank last week was fantastic.
Oh, that's iconic.
Yeah.
So yeah, Curtis, I don't know if you remember, but there's been this weird reoccurring thing where when they need to solve a problem with something in the air, instead of flying, they get Heracross to launch something. There was one time where Ash got Heracross to launch him. Him being a squishy, vulnerable human. Like, it's so bizarre. But kind of awesome.
That, if I'm being honest. But that is
so
exactly what I love.
Yeah, like, they have these good bits and recurring ways of dealing with Team Rocket. Why did they just let him go? I don't understand the writing there.
Does he still, or has he started sucking Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was also one of the greatest gags we've seen. I think it's hilarious.
Because Kellan just would not get tired of saying, and then Heracross sucked Bulbasaur off.
Exactly. So fun. Ugh. It's unfortunate. I genuinely don't understand. As someone who enjoys writing, I don't understand why they would bring in Heracross just to send him to Oak so fast. When you have all of these great gags that you can work with him. And he's a good Pokemon that Ash should really be able to knock a few heads around with.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
anyway, he gets his He gets his Tauros, and he charges into the stadium. Fernando has beat 10 opponents, and the announcer's like, oh, looks like he's going to be a winner when Ash runs in. He's like, no, me, fight me next. Tauros comes out, and they both take down. They lock horns. We go to Team Rocket outside. They're selling food.
Yeah, outside the stadium, there's screens, too. We also see Benny walk by, because he sees Ash battling, then over the screens.
Ash looks the same on TV as he looks in real life. Wow.
That's how TV
Thanks,
usually
Benny.
work. Unless there's a filter. Yeah, so Team Rocket's lines here where they're selling food. Jesse's like, you get ice cold, a snow cone, soda, sushi on a stick. James is selling hot dogs, hamburgers, nachos, and bento box lunches. And then what they do is when they get close, that's when they give each other Pokemon intel.
Yeah, like slows down and like deep blue background, and they're like, I saw a nice something over there.
Nice
I loved that.
And a great
I loved how they
quagsire.
did that.
Yeah, me too.
This low-key the best we've ever seen Team Rocket, in my opinion, in this episode.
No, they don't have much to go off this episode. They're not great.
This is consistent with what we've said too, is they actually excel when they do traditional business. So like them selling sodas and hot dogs is like useful, right?
Yeah. And we see it later, they make a pretty penny off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to the match. Tauros are still in Hornlock. Ash tells him to take down again, and he gains a little momentum against the other Tauros, launches Fernando's, and Ash is the winner, wins the match. And so later people...
That yoked Tauros.
Yeah, later people are swapping around their Pokemon. There's a lot of different Pokemon here. 2 kids trade a ledyba for a Marill, which I think is a bad trade for that kid giving up the Marill, because you're getting stuck with a ledyba. As much as I love ledyba, it's not good. Marill is much better.
Thanks, Professor Kellan.
You're welcome.
But I did think that also.
Benny is looking to trade his Wobbuffet for Ash's Tauros, but others want to trade their Onyx, their Nidoqueen, their Rhyhorn for Ash's Tauros, but Ash doesn't want to trade his Tauros
The
at all.
Nidoqueen for the Tauros would be a pretty good for Ash, wouldn't it?
Solid trade would have been, yeah. Nidoqueen's pretty decent, but also, like, Ash, you have 30 of these.
Right. Oh, they want that Tauros. Oh, if Ash was really devious, he could have gone back, got a different Tauros.
Yeah.
Traded it, then them thinking that he got the strong Tauros. Oh my god.
Boosted.
I scare myself. That's twisted.
And he takes the Tauros out. Ash, this one has 3 legs.
Yeah, right.
What did you do?
They've already started making hamburgers out of this one.
Jesus. So we got a question from Tristan here, who asks, out of all the Pokemon shown in the episode that were at the swap meet, what Pokemon should Ash have traded his Tauros for? Now I've got
I voted.
I've got a list here. We see Butterfree, Raticate, Raichu, Sandslash, Nidorino, Wigglytuff, Oddish, Venonat, Primeape, Machoke, Bellsprout, Golem, Slowpoke, Farfetch'd, Doduo, Drowsy, Krabby, Voltorb, Executor, Rhyhorn, Chansey, Starmie, Scyther, Sentret, Hoot, Ledyba, Mareep, Blossom, Marill, Hoppip, Sunflora, Quagsire, Pineco, Gligar, Caesar, Donphan, Stantler, Blissey, Tauros.
Wow, we got a poker rap in the middle of our episode.
Only right answer, Wobbuffet.
Quagsire.
The Quagsire.
Wobbuffet.
You say there was a Caesar or a Scyther or something?
Yeah, there's a Scizor in there.
Okay, that's good.
That would have been a good one. I would say Quagsire, because Quagsire is awesome.
Quagsire is also really cool.
Quagsire's good.
Anything but Ledyba.
Were there any other top contenders in that list?
Well, Machoke would evolve into Machamp
Machoke
upon trade, so that would be good. He could do Raichu to really mess with Pikachu's psyche.
Oh my god, that'd be
Ooh,
fucked up.
That's psychotic.
There's Donphan, which is a pretty good one, but he doesn't need that right now. We'll see that in a bit. Blissey is very good. Good few Pokemon.
Yeah.
And considering Ash has 30 Tauros, he wouldn't really be losing much. So
You can get them all.
Yeah.
He could have hustled that whole place.
yeah. It goes up to everyone individually. You know, a lot of people want my Tauros that won that match, but I think your Pokemon's really special. I'm willing to give my Tauros
Just
to you.
for you, yeah.
He just does that 30 times.
Holy fuck. That's the ultimate hustle. Like we put it together, boys. That's what you do. You win the Tauros tournament, and then you trade a bunch of other shitty Tauros. Oh my god, that is fucked up. I'm seriously angry at myself that we thought of that. Ooh.
We're so smart. Oh my god.
We're devious. That's a crime.
That's what they
Kellan.
do at the cattle things in real life. I'm just kidding. They show off their best cow, and then they ship off another one.
And then sell all the crappy ones.
Yeah.
So Benny is really struggling to find anybody to trade his Wobbuffet for. He's asked a guy for his Scyther. He ain't having it. So the gang's going to give him a hand, try and find someone. And then meanwhile, Team Rocket have a brand new Pokemon exchange machine that not only does it trade the Pokemon, it raises their level while they're in the trade. That's
Super
incredible.
swift swapping.
Obviously, it's a scam. Meowth is inside the machine swapping the Pokeballs for empty Pokeballs.
I like that.
Yeah, I argue that this might be one of their best schemes from like an outside perspective. Like they legit had people like lining up and like, you know, they put on the show, they built the machine out so it looks right.
But
They sold it
ultimately,
well.
ultimately, it is just a classic Team Rocket scheme of vacuum.
I suppose. That's all right with fundamentals. I do like the idea of Meowth inside the machine.
Yes.
Because that makes me wonder, what is in all these other Pokemon trade machines? Are there also Meowths just sitting there that swap them?
Well, no, those ones are technical marvels. They actually trade the Pokemon.
They're Meowth powered.
Team Rockets is cardboard painted together with Pokeball signs taped on it. Because you
They're
could actually
all
see the
Meowth
tape
powered,
in the
Kellan.
episode. Sure.
The tape?
Yeah, like they had little Pokeball decorations on it to make it look like an
that's
official
pretty
thing.
good.
They're taped on. You can see the tape.
That
That's
is
good.
pretty good.
Yeah, Meowth's inside, but Snubble's here. Snubble's still sniffing around. That ultimately will not go anywhere. Misty is on the
doesn't
lookout
matter.
for someone to trade for the Wobbuffet when Psyduck pops out. And she's like, "Ugh, don't make me get any ideas of trading you away." And everyone comes up. He's like, "Oh my god, I love that Psyduck. Can I have it? I want your Psyduck."
That was so awesome. They're like, your Psyduck looks so smart.
And she denies all the trades, even though
she's overwhelmed and runs.
Even though she always talks about how much she hates Psyduck, I think she really loves him.
She secretly loves him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm wondering if she'll ever like admit that to herself and just let it go, essentially, and change her whole tune on it and just be like, "Yeah, I love Psyduck." I'm hoping so. I think that'd be fun.
Give Psyduck a hug.
Yeah.
That's a
Character
start.
growth in a Pokemon episode. Yeah, we'll see it someday, maybe.
Someday. There's 1,000 episodes. I'm hoping
It's
we
gotta
see it at
happen.
some point. So Ash asks a girl to trade Sentret for Wobbuffet. She's like, "What the fuck? Why would I do that? That's a horrible trade. You're a terrible person for offering that."
And you should kill yourself. And then she walks away. It's basically like a League of Legends chat.
The disrespect shown towards Wobbuffet.
I know, right?
Oh,
Like-
as a fan, is this just killing you,
Oh.
Curtis?
Like, as a fan of Wobbuffet, watching the literal person that raised him parade around and, like, get disheartened at the fact that he can't get rid of Wobbuffet, like, inside Wobbuffet's mind right now, what's going on to you when you've been denied 30 trades, nobody wants you, the
No.
person who you thought was, like, everything about your life is still trying to get rid of you after 30 no's? Oh,
Yeah, and Benny talks about how he loves Wobbuffet, but he wants to try raising something else. But at what point does Benny realize no one's going to love this Wobbuffet like I do? I should probably keep him so he has a good home.
yeah.
You could also catch another Pokemon.
That was my other thought, yeah.
You don't have to get rid of Wobbuffet.
But there's a difference between raising a Wobbuffet and something else. It's like having two pets, you know?
Hmm.
He only wants one pet. Imagine if we just like traded our cats around. That'd be weird.
That would be fucked up, right? There's like a cat swap meet. All the cats are just meowing and miserable. That
Aw.
sounds horrible.
It does. That sounds so sad.
It is. Well, this is sad for the Wobbuffet, you know?
Yeah.
As Curtis is pointing out, I never thought of it that way, but he is
Oh,
going through a tough time.
Yeah, I swear, I'll go on the record saying you can hear it in his wobs. You can hear it in his wobs.
That's a
I
fantastic
promise you.
line.
I promise you, if you look at Wobbuffet's wobs in this episode, and then you wait until like 10 or 15 down the road, and I got some notes later in the episode that even start showing it, but I'll wait my turn.
Curtis, when are you gonna do a stream where you play through a Pokemon with only a Wobbuffet?
Ah, that would be a good return.
It
The
would.
great return of cheese.
The final,
after
finally.
the
return.
3-year hiatus. Only Wobbuffet run.
You will hit your head against a wall with that. Wobbuffet is very hard to use, especially on itself. So they go to a guy for a Stantler to try and trade for Wobbuffet. And they throw in this whole sales pitch about how this Wobbuffet is like a perfect Pokemon. It's incredible. Ash is even going to throw in a 90-day warranty on parts and labor.
Ash basically slaps Wobbuffet on the head and goes, "It's got very responsive handling."
This baby can fit so many counters in him.
Yeah.
So they go to exchange. The guy agrees to this to give up Stantler. Meanwhile, James is going to go buy lunch with the money they made selling the snacks and food when this familiar shopkeep tries to sell him a Magikarp for an infinite money hack. You know, these Magikarp make more Magikarp eggs. You sell those Magikarp to make more Magikarp eggs. And then those ones, you have 1 billion Magikarp, and you can sell them for 100 Pokedollars each. And you'll have billions of dollars. Billions.
Did you
Billions of dollars.
catch his math mistake?
Yeah, it's he says like 1 billion when it should be like 10 billion or something.
Yeah, exactly. He actually underestimates given the amount of zeros that he's thrown around.
Yeah. He says 10 billion when it would actually be 100 billion, according to Wobbuffetia.
Yeah.
Which, that is an insane difference in money. Like,
Yeah.
unimaginably different amount of money.
Well, he has another error earlier on where he goes, 1,000 eggs will lay 1,000 eggs will lay 1,000 eggs, which will make 1 million Magikarp. He should have been already at 1 billion because he said 1,000 3 times. 1,000 would be 1 billion.
1,000 cubed would be.
Yeah.
Did you do the math on that?
I did.
You do have a master's, so.
I hate when you point that out.
I love it. I
I'm
think
talking
it's
about
funny.
Pokemon Online. Doesn't matter.
I think it's funny.
What's become of me?
Yep. You go to a fancy job with your master's degree and you come home and you talk about Pokemon on the internet.
That is funny. I'm like, these
Yeah.
professionals don't realize
The power I hold in my
Yeah.
hands.
What's going on behind closed doors?
Exactly.
So, this guy trying to sell him the Magikarp, and then James is ready to buy it. He's really excited about this purchase when he realizes, hey, you're the same guy that did this to me on the St. Anne.
Oh,
Holy continuity, Batman.
yeah. We get a flashback to that. It's the exact same guy.
Yeah,
I love
is.
it. I love it so much.
Do you remember that episode at all, Curtis?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most iconic ones that like I remember from my childhood because I'm pretty sure a friend owned that episode on VHS, and since there was only like 3 episodes on each VHS, we would just binge watch it over and over.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had one VHS. It was the first 3 episodes of the show.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it is the same guy who promptly packs up his stall and runs away. James gives chase. Back to Benny. They're about to trade when the guy with the Stantler sees a Hoot and he remembers he really wanted a flying Pokemon. And so he's backing out of the trade at the last
Very
second
fleeting.
like a dick.
He's like, oh, I actually want a flying Pokemon. Just runs. What the fuck?
James is chasing the guy when they run into Jessie and they launch her right into the real trade machine, which knocks a Pokeball out of her pocket and into the trade machine. And something gets traded. Uh-oh.
And I actually couldn't really tell from the screen because we do see the Wobbuffet go by on the trade screen like silhouettes. I couldn't really tell what Pokemon are Jessie's. I mean, it gets obvious in a second, but could you
we'll see it in a
tell
minute.
from the trade shot? Because I couldn't.
I thought it was a Jigglypuff. and
I thought it looked like a
I was-
Jigglypuff also, yeah.
Yeah, like I swear that's that's what it looked like.
Well, I just knew what it was, so I can't really...
Oh,
Big knowledge, boy.
big brain.
We'll see it in a minute. So Team Rocket group up together. Meowth tells them everyone knows that their machine was a phony, and so they're all ganged up on by the thing. Prepare for trouble. It's true we've been stealing. Make it double. It beats wheeling and dealing.
Yeah,
That's
not
fun.
bad. That's pretty fun. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. So
Pretty good.
So the crowd's going to ambush them, take their Pokemon back. But Meowth shoots a rope at them that ties them all up very
Yeah, it looks
impressively.
like a horseshoe. It like horseshoes around them and then ties at the back. It's like a single rope.
The rope
This
ties
is a
itself.
real physical marvel he's got here.
Yeah.
It is.
They really need to just be selling these ideas.
Yeah, I know. They'd be so good in the free sector, free market.
But then they go back to their original idea. They start vacuuming up the rest of the Pokemon. Ash has an idea. Everyone get your Tauros out. And so they all send out the Tauros. They take down, launching Team Rocket into the balloon, releasing the bag of Pokeballs, and send them flying, not blasting off again.
Ooh, yes.
Uh-oh.
That's actually important because Now,
Mhm.
the Pokeballs have apparently fallen out of the balloon, but when people check them, they're empty. This was a double
Oh
cross.
no!
And Pikachu is very mad. I liked Pikachu's animation here.
So Team Rocket still have all the real Pokeballs. You see them. And so the gang runs in. They're not getting away for this for very long. It's battle time. Jesse sends out Lickitung, but it's Wobbuffet. Uh-oh. Wobbuffet. She's pretty upset
Yes.
about this. Where's my Lickitung? What
This
happened?
is great. Jessie's outrage animations here are very good. She's got like these levels of exasperation that are coming out where she basically goes through like the 6 steps of grief or whatever. She's like in
5
denial and then she's depressed. Like
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance.
And what's the 6th one? Alcoholism.
Those were the 5 moves Wobbuffet has, I think.
Oh. Gotcha.
No, it is 5 steps. It's not 6. You got it wrong.
I believe you. Yeah,
You got it wrong. On a public podcast, you got something wrong.
I
You're
got
in
lots
for
of
the
things
ride of
wrong.
your
Did he
lifetime
really
in the comments.
get it wrong though? But like, because now that it's in the public, it's public domain, so technically it could be real now.
And this is
Maybe.
basically how sourcing Wikipedia works.
Exactly.
Hey, Wikipedia is fine if you source the sources. Hot
I know,
tip for you paper writers.
But then
out there.
you get these loops, right? Where like a desperate journalist looked something up on Wikipedia, and now they're actually citing that article, which was originally written by looking at Wikipedia.
So, Wobbuffet's out now. There is no Lickitung. James looks it up. It's unable to initiate attacks. And so Jesse is very exasperated about that. Why? Well, I want a Pokemon that can't attack. And so the sick gym theme comes in. Chikorita's out, Vine Whips. It doesn't really do anything. So he tries another Vine Whip again. Wobbuffet counters, which sends the Vine Whip right back at Chikorita without hitting Wobbuffet, which is just straight up not what counter does. Counter has to have taken damage in order for it to do damage.
So what does counter do exactly?
Counter, if you are hit in that turn by a physical move, which Vine Whip was not a physical move until Gen 4.
It was a special move?
It was all grass moves were special. If you're hit by a physical move, it will deal back double the damage.
Oh, okay.
And then Mirror Coat does the same thing for special attacks.
Ah.
Perfect harmony.
So using Wobbuffet, you have to basically predict, is your opponent going to use a physical or a special attack, and use the corresponding move accordingly.
As a Wobbuffet trainer, do you have to have a lot of potions on board? Because you're always taking damage, I presume.
Well, the thing about Wobbuffet is that its highest stat by far is HP, so it can take a lot of damage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say usually he can take probably, maybe not exactly, but you could probably take 2 hits that like 2 or 3 hits to like a regular 1 to 2 hit for like another Pokemon if there's no crits.
Like, it can even soak up super effective moves pretty easy.
Oh, nice.
And by HP, Wobbuffet is the 7th highest HP stat in the game as of today. Like,
wow,
as of Gen 9.
Today. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
As of Gen 2, it would have been 3rd, just behind Chansey and Blissey.
It's pretty good.
Big boy.
Yeah. So yeah, counter is not being shown particularly right here because it needs to be able to take damage. But Razor Leaf goes for it, counter again, but again, Razor Leaf would not have been a physical move in Gen 2. So he recalls Chikorita. Chikorita is done. Pikachu goes for a Thunderbolt, and that goes through because Thunderbolt's a special move. That makes sense.
Okay, so that made sense, but here I just thought all they were saying was like, well, the Thunderbolt was just like overpowered it, right?
I guess. I think that's
what
probably what they were
but I
going
don't know.
for.
Yeah.
But it goes through because Wobbuffet didn't use Mirror Coat and sends them all blasting off again. Pikachu gives us the cute peace sign. I love when he does that.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then it's another sunset. Oh, yes.
Ash
love it.
brings the balls back to the trainers. Benny's got his Lickitung out now because he's got Jesse's Lickitung. So is this just what happens with Lickitung now? Do we never see Lickitung again?
Lickitung's gone.
Oh my god. That sucks. I love
Gone
Lickitung.
forever. Yeah. Really, all of Team Rocket's Pokemon are solid.
I mean, Wobbuffet's sweet, but I like Lickitung a lot.
I loved Lickitung. Him running around.
Yeah.
So fun.
I
His
love
cry.
the sushi minigame in
What the-
Pokemon Stadium on the N64.
Oh, those are good.
F's in the chat to Lickitung, everybody.
Yeah.
Pay your respects.
07s.
So Benny is like, I got this sweet Lickitung from a girl with glasses and long hair. but I wanted to thank her before she left town, but I can't find her. And Ash was like, huh, I haven't seen anybody like that.
None of them put it together, do they?
No,
No,
they don't.
never.
I wonder if it'll just hit Ash like in the middle of the night when like in a month he'll just like wake up in a cold sweat and be like, we haven't seen Jesse's Lickitung in a while.
Yeah, there's actually a big part of the Gen 7 anime where just randomly in one episode, he's like, wait a second, that was Jesse's Lickitung.
But then there's the other side of it too. Would he ever realize that the Wobbuffet on Team Rocket is actually the one that they tried to trick? Was Benny's Wobbuffet. The one that he has to fight now for like the next however many episodes.
Oh, no. Maybe that's a good thing he never realized, because he would have to be fighting like a Pokemon that was his friend.
Yeah. But Wobbuffet, he remembers. He took notes.
He'll never forget
on how these people treated him.
He's got that like war flashback image, that meme with like the Chihuahua. So they're back on the road to Goldenrod City. Benny just calls out into the ether, thanking the woman. It's like, thank you for your Lickitung. I'll never forget you, Wobbuffet. And they're off to Goldenrod. Snubbull is still on the trail. That went nowhere this episode. And we get a nice bit from the narrator. Team Rocket's Lickitung has a loving trainer, but oh, that poor Wobbuffet.
Aww.
Aww.
The true victim of the episode.
Then it shows them in the tree.
Yep.
And my favorite part, and this is where I start crafting my theories, is that Wobbuffet gives one of the happiest Wobbuffet wabs of the episode, and it's the only time we see him salute, which he's famous for doing when he's extremely happy.
I love that.
Oh, so you think he's found his family?
I think he's like, in a weird, messed up way, he's definitely happier where he is than where he was, because he never gave Benny a salute.
So what are you saying that Wobbuffet this whole time has had very evil inner thoughts?
I feel like Wobbuffet, after, getting basically attempted to trade away for 45 times.
Oh, he's become evil?
He's got some self-confidence behind him where he's just like, you know what? No, I don't need Benny. I don't need any of those other trainers. He's like, I'm gonna do well here. I just knocked out a Chikorita. Almost took out a Pikachu. I'm living on a high,
Yeah.
I don't need any of you fuckers.
He's kind of happy where he's at. He's like, he's ready for a redemption arc, and so therefore he gives off a good salute.
And I think he'll get it. I think we're gonna love Wobbuffet moving forward.
Oh yes,
that's a nice bow. Yeah, on that.
But that is the episode. So
right. So literary hour. Yeah. Well. Okay, I got to do some actual books to get out of the way before I get to what I actually want to reference, all right? So, yeah, Sun Also Rises, classic Hemingway novel. It features the running of the bulls, but we've talked about that book before. 1984, which we've also talked about, does have a bit of a trope with the wrong suitcase being used with some documents, kind of like the mixing up of the Pokeballs here. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole reading about different mix-up tropes, where two items get swapped. They say that at least 3 is what makes a really compelling story. Well, we only have the 2 Pokeballs here, and it was plenty of fun. So that leads me to one where 2 items were swapped up. This is the movie Johnny English. Kellan, have you seen that?
Ooh, it's been a long time, but I have.
I feel like this would be that would be a Kellan movie.
Well, it stars the guy who played Mr. Bean, so of course it would be.
Yeah. So
we love Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, secret agent.
Wonderful man.
And there's like a climactic scene where he has a DVD where he's revealing the villain's plans like to the world, I think. You think he's like broadcasting it? Don't 100% remember. But he accidentally slips in a DVD of him dancing half naked in front of the mirror. And that's what's plays. So that's my trope, is when Johnny English uses the wrong DVD to catch the bad guy.
You really nailed your literary hours today.
Thank you. After like a year and a half, this is what your hopes and dreams for literary hour were. Wow. I'm glad I finally caught on.
All right, let's write this thing. The Wobbuffet episode, the wonderful Wobbuffet episode. First category will be the exasperation station.
Oh, the whole animation around when Jessie is exasperated when she first sees the Wobbuffet is actually top tier. Mm-hmm. There's like some really crazy animations where her head gets all like thin and tall, and it gets
her arms go wobbly.
And her arms go wobbly. Yeah.
There's also Misty with Psyduck, I think, where she sort of realizes that she likes Psyduck for once. There's no straight up like fallovers,
No, I don't
like
think
the
so.
embarrassment falls. I never noted any.
No, and there's not much
Um,
for anime sweat drops either.
But that Jesse one
But the Jesse
is
animation's
pretty
really good.
and so that kicks it up a little bit. I'm gonna go flat 7.
Where I was aiming to, I'll go 7.5.
I'll join on the 7.5.
Yeah,
7.5,
feels right.
so that
Feels
is-
right.
So that is
Feels right.
7.333 repeating.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Thank
I was
you.
waiting for that. Second category, final category of the day will be the humor of the episode.
I mean,
Nice
it's-
basic category.
It's pretty funny. I feel like we were laughing recounting it. No.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see what are the good jokes. I mean, Wobbuffet in general. You gotta love Wobbuffet.
As a whole, yeah,
Meowth inside the machine, I think, is pretty funny.
that is a good bit.
Yeah, that's good.
The Magikarp salesman coming back. That's a good gag.
Meowth
That's
has
a good
has a
point.
line we didn't shout out yet when they chase down Team Rocket in the woods. He goes, "You got a lot of nerve coming out here and trying to deprive us of Pokemon we put so much work into stealing."
That is a good.
Ooh, Ash's whole it's got very responsive handling. We'll even throw in
Ooh,
free 90
yeah.
days of
That-
warranty on parts and labor.
Yeah,
That's a good
the
one.
parts and labor joke is very good because it makes absolutely no fucking
It's
sense.
so stupid. Yeah.
I'm gonna go flat 6.
Oh, I think it's better than that. I'll go 8.
Curtis,
I gotta go with a solid 8.3.
0.3.
Hell yeah.
Which gives this that one a 7.433 repeating, of course.
Yo.
Which gives the episode an overall 7.38333 repeating, of course.
It's a decent score.
Not bad.
Pretty good
Not
week.
bad.
Good week. An 8.75 and a 7.383.
Before we end the episode, Curtis, any last words about Wobbuffet?
Last words. If you guys don't do it, I might have to do it, but there needs to be a study done going forward on Wobbuffet's emotional state
Yeah.
and his growth as a character. You know, does he find himself? Is he getting more and more happy? Is he found his chums finally? You know, is he growing into the god that he can possibly be moving forward? These are the questions I need to know. Or is he truly just patient and happy to exist in any situation?
I'd never thought of these issues before. We do really need a non-for-profit to stand up for Wobbuffet rights and look into their health, because nobody's doing that.
We're too worried about not worrying about them.
Well said.
Well, well, that does it for this week then. You want to know what we're doing next week?
Yes, please.
Next week, we got 2 more episodes. We're doing episode 149, The Firing Squad, or in Japanese, Burns and Agame Squad, ! Like a fire, !
Like a fire.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And followed by episode 150, No Big Whoop, or in Japanese, Lots of Oopa! !
So the
Was a-
Whooper episode?
Whooper, baby!
Nice.
Hey, that'll be good.
That's so
Gotta love
weird.
Whooper.
We had a Quagsire episode
Yeah, I know, right?
before a Whooper episode.
Yeah. But next week, we're saying goodbye to someone.
Oh no.
No,
I won't tell you who it is.
Oh no, I
But-
don't know this.
they can't kill Wobbuffet off already. How dare they?
Yeah, Wobbuffet just takes a shotgun to the face next episode. It's really dark.
Yeah.
So that's
Oof.
what we're doing next week. Curtis, what do you got going on? Anything you want to shout out before we turn it off?
Not too much, other than if they want to, see what I'm up to, they can always hop over to the Just Playing Universe on YouTube. But I'm in a little bit of a hiatus mode. I'm kind of like the boogeyman. I kind of come out every once in a while, show my face, and then go back into hiding. But
Yep.
we're
Yep.
brewing some stuff in the background.
You have a couple of really awesome videos though, like the one where you interviewed the guy who sang the Pokemon theme song.
Ooh, yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. That was a fun project. Yeah, we got to chat with Jason Page about the original Pokemon theme song. That's
Yeah, that was very
that's a
good.
So,
classic.
yeah, check out that. Definitely cool interview on.
And also
Curtis's
check
channel.
out the web series Pothead, Your Local Superhero. That's also very good. I'm in it a couple times, so
Yeah.
check that out.
Pothead, yeah. We respect Pothead.
That was a
Pothead
long-
would have Wobbuffet as a Pokemon.
And it was a long journey to get that the series out.
Oh yeah. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into
Yeah.
that. But we got some plans for it moving forward that I think should be fun too.
Yep. We'll keep it mysterious for.
Ooh, interesting.
All right, that'll
Yeah.
do her. Graham, you want to do the thing? 80s synthwave, Alexia action, to bop intro outro. Twitter to Kill A Delibird. Come watch me play balloons on Twitch.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing
Graham, you can carry the rest of it.
it. All right.
Email
so
us.
video versions on youtube.com/HydraLeech. Please leave comments there. Love to hear it. You can also leave comments on the Spotify
Please do.
channel to Kill A Delibird.
Interact on your podcast platform of choice, please.
Yeah, and we are on other podcast platforms. So, yeah, go ahead, find it anywhere. Find podcasts or download it. If you want to send us questions, please do at tokilladelibird@gmail.com. We've also got the Twitter handle, tokilladelibird. Kellan is on TikTok, HydraLeeches, doing... do you got a new series out, Kellan? Coming?
Yeah, I started... I posted the first of ranking every Pokemon Green Sprite, and there's still some more on the way. So.
Ooh, okay. Pokemon Green Sprites on TikTok.com/HydraLeeches. And then the Twitch, his Twitch is HydraLeech. Well,
Is that everything?
twitch.tv/HydraLeech. Yeah.
Yeah, so join us next week for things where hopefully I am able to get Graham to stop pronouncing it Wobbuffet and just pronouncing it Wobbuffet like everyone else.
Am I pronouncing it like a boomer?
Yeah.
It's like I do hate when people say Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah.
No one pronounces it
Wobbuffet.
Pokemon. Except I think Curtis. I think Curtis pronounces it Pokemon.
Well, that's
yeah,
fine.
Pokemon. Yeah, that's how it is.
Pokemon.
It doesn't sound boomerish coming from you though.
No, it doesn't.
It's how you say it. It's
yeah.
with the twang. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
say
yeah.
it like it's a question. You can't be
Yeah.
like Pokemon.
You got
Pokemon? Yeah,
catching
that's
some of
true.
those Pokemons. Yeah.
All right, you boys just want to make a bunch of Wobbuffet noises to take us out?
Yep.
Wobbuffet.
Wah, bah, bah.
All right, see you next time.
Wah.